You're listening to Sweep the League.
Hey, this is George Iceman Gervin, and you're listening to Sweep the League Radio.
What is going on, everybody? It's Rudy Campos in here. It is Thirsty Thursday. It is Sweep the League. We got one more day till Friday. It's our fun Friday show. It's going to be myself. It's going to be Derek Gervin here tonight with you guys. And you know what? It's another AMA Ask Me Anything, or basically ask us anything you guys want to talk about. Of course, you got NBA offseason. We got the Summer League kicking off here. You got training camp about a couple of weeks away, so you got NFL training camp coming up as well. You guys want to talk a little bit of NFL? You want to talk a little bit of college football? Even boxing. Derek loves talking about boxing. Whatever you guys want to talk about, it is your show tonight. So it's going to be myself, Derek Gervin, brought to you by MCS General Contracting, Special Leaf Tea, and La Cocina Taco Truck. All great sponsors of Sweep the League. Mario Cavazos in here. What up, compa, yeah. Got to that. What up, Mario? How you doing, brother? How you doing? Thanks for joining us here tonight. Harry Austin, Sweep the League. Good evening, Harry. Hope you are doing good. Hope everybody out there is doing good. Again, this is the AMA edition of Sweep the League. You guys want to ask us anything? Ask away. Let's go ahead and bring on Derek Gervin himself. He's chilling right now in the green room. Derek, how you doing on a Thursday, man? We're almost a Friday. Man.
All is well, sir. How about you?
I'm good. I'm kind of sad because vacation is almost over for me, and I already have a pile of work waiting for me on Monday morning. So it's gonna be fun getting back, probably into the thick of things here. But yeah, I'm managing to make it, man. You know, we got a weekend, and I'm gonna be going to Victoria this weekend, so I'm gonna do a little travel, hour and a half away, maybe hour and a half away.
Hey, always be glad to be able to do some work.
Yeah, that is true. I love my job, so I'm glad. But it's just getting those emails, Derek, when you're on vacation. It's like, this is ASAP. We need this now. I'm like, oh, God, I can't do it that. But I'm not trying to look forward to that right now. I'm not trying to think about that right now. We got people in the chat here. Let's do it. Again, anybody want to ask questions? You want to leave them in the chat? You want to talk about a topic? Let us know. This is your night. It's Thursday. It's AMA. It's Ask Me Anything night. You can basically talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. Number is 830-499-1852. You guys want to give us a call, leave a comment, talk to us, ask a question, whatever it is. So, you know, this first segment, Derek, is brought to you by MCS General Contracting. Family and homes, the foundation is the main part, and MCS is the best when it comes to pouring the foundation and getting your life in order right away and started on the right path. Pools, patios, everything you can imagine, driveways. MCS General Contracting is going to take care of you, proud sponsors of Sweep the League. Early news coming out, man. This is kind of crazy. Pittsburgh Pirates pitcher earlier, Paul Skeens, had a no-hitter, through 7 innings, and then he gets pulled. And it kind of made me think about something here. Not necessarily, it's not an unwritten rule in baseball, but it's kind of save the pitcher and maybe work 7 innings now. We're not seeing pitchers go all the way to 9 innings. But this is the second time, I believe, this season that he's already gone past 6 innings and had a no-hitter intact. When do we feel like enough's enough? And you know what? I get it. You don't want him pitching 140 pitches, but you've got to allow the guy to at least finish a game if he's on a hot streak like that.
Well, it depends on, you know, when they spending money and paying you a salary, they looking at the long haul over a 102-game season.
That is true.
Sometimes, you know, a player can be their worst enemy, and that's when you have to reel them in. I would like to see one time, though. I mean, if someone does it multiple times, they go 7 innings and give up 0 hits. The curiosity, I would like to see it one time, but on the other side, I can understand. You know, you don't want guys to have end up having to have rotator cuff surgery or Tommy John surgery and that kind of stuff. And they know these guys better than we do behind the scenes. So maybe they made the right decision, but I still will be wondering if he would have got the no-hitter.
Exactly. I mean, he's been pitching out of his mind this season. I mean, like I said, I believe it was the last 2 starts. He goes 6 with no hits. Then he goes 7 with no hits. They take him out under 100 pitches, just under 100 pitches both times.
About his pitch count.
Yeah, so they're keeping it below 100. But I mean, come on, these days you're going for a no hitter. It's very rare. I think one pitcher got 89 pitches for a no hitter, but I mean, it's rare you're going to get a no hitter at under 100 pitches if you go the full 9 innings. I mean, it's extremely rare. So. Jacob Erickson here, let him go as far as he can. I agree. I mean, you got to give him at least one chance, but I understand, rotator cuff, injuries, Tommy John, all that other stuff. It plays into it. You want to protect your players, but you got to give them an opportunity. Howdy, y'all, JC, Special Leaf Tea in the house, man. Again, best drink on the planet there. We're going to play that commercial for you guys later on, give you the website to go to purchase some Special Leaf Tea. Mario's got it again. This is Ask Me Anything, basically a day for me and Derek Gervin. You guys want to talk about something, drop it in there. It's kind of a free-for-all day here on this Thirsty Thursday edition of Sweep the League. So question, Derek. Mario's wondering, what is the likelihood that Harrison Ingram equals to another Quindary Witherspoon? Now, it's hard to say because second-round picks are second-round picks. I mean, some pan out because they turn out to a Joker or they turn into a Manu Ginobili, or there's second round picks where they turn into, a guy that's typically a second round pick. You don't really work out all the time. But can we see Harrison Ingram maybe get some run on any young Spurs team that still has a small identity issue? Because, I mean, we know who their top guys are, but they still got to get a deep pitch somewhere in here.
I think the likelihood that Quindary Witherspoon, I think that he could equal. I don't know if equal is even the right answer, but just getting the opportunity to play this season. And it's not going to be easy. A lot of times coaches want to fit in guys that are rookies or whatever, just coming in. But you also know they have a pecking order, and then a lot of that is based on the guy's pay as well.
Yeah,
you got certain guys are going to have to be on the floor. And sometimes guys don't even get a chance to shine when they should. I thought Austin Reeves was ready right from the start,
Yeah.
But they see things that we don't see sometimes in practice and just dealing with the players on a daily basis. But I'm hoping that Harrison Ingram could just making the roster and stand on the roster after January, Rudy, to me is being a success. And if he can come in and do that and just figure out where he fits in. If he does that, yes, I think he could equal or either surpass Quindary Witherspoon.
And Harrison hasn't been playing bad in the first couple of games here in the Summer League. I mean, he's been doing good. Now I'm curious to see how he does in the actual Summer League coming up here in Vegas. But, I mean, to say that he may not deserve a roster spot, I would say he's definitely Austin bound for majority of the season, but he shows promise. Now, does it mean he gets, a 12-man roster spot on the main roster? Probably not right now. But like we know for a fact, injuries can play a part in the roster.
Or just things, or a player that you've been dependent on, they don't pan out.
Yeah.
They start off slow. There's several reasons. And that's a good question for me, Mario, because myself, I came in the league at 26. So I was an older rookie, and I had to, figure out how I can get into these games with these guys. The Nets picked me up basically because of a summer league. I played on a free agent team with Pooh Richardson. Yeah. I know some of you guys are young, but I'm hoping you remember Pooh. He's actually the Minnesota Timberwolves' first draft pick and their first round draft pick. And I played with Reggie Theus. And how ironic is that I end up playing with Reggie with the Nets? But playing with those guys, the free agent team, kind of boosted my stock. And as you continue to play, if guys just look like they'll be able to withstand the travel and all the other things that goes behind the scenes and having a good attitude, there's ways that they could. You make the general manager and them think about how we can get this guy on the floor. You make a Greg Popovich think about how we can get a guy on the floor. So all you want to do is continue to be consistent and continue to work hard. And let the chips fall where they may. That's the bottom line. Never give up. Always expect the best. And if you keep doing the best, usually you'll get rewarded for it.
Yeah, and, not only are injuries a possibility, I mean, the Spurs could make a move and trade a couple of guys, so they're going to have to fill roster spots possibly. So, I mean, I think Ingram's a guy that's going to kind of be bouncing back and forth from Austin to San Antonio. You may see him come up to the big leagues for a couple of games here, then go back to Austin. Mm-hmm. I think he's the type of player he's going to shine in Austin. I don't think it's Quindary Witherspoon that I would go for the comparison. I kind of look at him as like the Dominic Barlow who we saw recently, who can come into an NBA game, maybe do not damage, but put up a little bit of stats, make a little bit of himself known, but he's never going to get that true shot. He's going to shine more in Austin than anything. That's my comparison for Harrison Ingram, is more of like maybe Dominic Barlow over a Quindary Witherspoon. Quindary's a scorer. I believe he went to Golden State. I mean, they were kind of using him there for a little bit as well. So he's a good scorer, but with the logjam the Spurs had at that position, I mean, it was kind of, a fact that he wasn't probably going to last in San Antonio's system anyway. He was more of the Austin type of guy. So great question, Mario. I appreciate you joining in. I think Jay, he was talking about who we were talking about, Paul Skeens a little while ago. You don't talk to him, leave alone. Sit away from him. All the other unwritten rules when a pitcher is throwing a no-no. And that's the thing. I want to talk about, like, unwritten rules, because in a way it kind of is an unwritten rule. And then there's other things like, well, is it really because you want to save a pitcher? I get that. But, I mean, the second time in a season where he's going for that no-no, you got to give him the opportunity, man. At least let him go into the ninth. I mean, if you want to rest him for the ninth inning, great. But, I mean, you got to let him finish.
What if the coaches has a meeting with the player and they both come to an agreement that I'm getting fatigued. Yes, I would like the opportunity to make history so I can tell my future kids, grandkids, that granddad or dad did some spectacular things. But still, man, it's so hard to say because over 100, I know the pitcher's not playing 162 games, but even when you pitch in 30-something games, 20-something to 30-something games, sometimes you just want to err on the side of caution.
Yeah.
And I can understand that. But me as a person, if it's me, Rudy, I got to be honest. The first time I'm cool with it, Coach, I got you back. But the second time, I might be like, Coach, look, man, I can do this. At least give me the opportunity. And so I can understand both sides. But, Jacob, I agree. Sometimes you just got to believe in your player and you got to give them that freedom. So I don't always want to question if a guy would have got a no-hitter or not. I want to actually see him get a chance to fulfill that dream.
Yeah, I want to see him fulfill it. The no-hitter record is Nolan Ryan, I think at 7. That's something What's crazy. Weird is Nolan's got records that are never going to be surpassed.
Come on, man. The guy at 45 is still pitching faster than most people that ever picked up a baseball.
I know. The strikeout king. You're talking no hitters. Everyone's gonna ever.
Don't forget these either.
Oh, Robin Ventura has not forgotten those. That is definitely true, man.
He never ran out after another pitcher after that.
That is true, man. He never, ever did. JC's in here. Heck yeah, FFA. Statues, who, where, and how big? Derek, would you share a brotherly love story? I have an older brother, too. So I'm assuming the statue part, I'm not too sure yet. I'm thinking I got to figure out what he's talking about statue-wise. But
me getting one at UTSA? No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, we can try to push for a UTSA statue, the Convocation Center for you, since being the first superstar at UTSA, you should get one, that's for sure. But he wants to know a brotherly love story.
I have a great one.
I'm gonna leave that to you there. So
I'm not gonna make it long. Story. Okay, so
take as long as you want.
I got picked up by the New Jersey Nets. I was playing in Santa Barbara for the Santa Barbara Islanders, and my point guard was Leon Wood. And Leon is currently coaching in the NBA. Refereeing in the NBA. Mm-hmm. He's been reffing now about 28 years. So Leon's my point guard. I go to Santa Barbara, where our record at the time was, I think it was like 12-0, Rudy. And we were trying to go for a record, right? So our next game is going to be against the Quad City Thunder. And my brother at that time had went to play at Quad City. He was trying to get back in the NBA. So George was, I'm thinking, let me see, I'm 26, so George is 37 at the time. So we're ready to play them in a few days. My teammates, Larry Spriggs, used to play for the Lakers. And Larry's talking all this nonsense. Gerv, your brother is old, and man, we ready to play against this old man and all of this stuff. And Stephon Johnson, who I talked to today, was another talker. So, you know me being my brother, I'm going to tell George the story. Now, I want to win the game, but I also want my brother to shine. So I tell George about these guys talking nonsense to him. And so the game finally comes. The weekends comes, and it's Quad City versus Santa Barbara. George Gervin versus Derek Gervin, but the teams were more important. We started the game. George hits his first 2 or 3 baskets. And this is a true story. Larry Spriggs all of a sudden starts acting like he's hurt. I can't say he is or not, wasn't. He started saying his shoulder was hurt and he needed to sit out. So he sat out from that point on. We end up finishing the game. I got to guard George a few plays, and so that was a lifetime dream. But the final score was 172. Yes, that was the score. Quad City, 172. Santa Barbara Islanders, 122. George Gervin, 45 points on 18 for 24 shooting. Derek Gervin, 39 points. So there's my story, man. Getting my butt whooped by 50 points in a CBA, the Continental Basketball Association game, playing against my older brother. And I wasn't really even that mad about it, to be honest.
Wow, man. 50-point victory. George came out on top of that one, man. Golly, I think you and I have talked about this. I mean, you know, the battles. I'm sure you and George had some battles, you know, on the court many, many times. And, you know, that being one story there. And I mean, even growing up, you know, with George as your brother, you and him going back and forth on that, I'm sure there's a ton more stories that you could share with brotherly love here. So JC's talking about Spurs statues. So it's kind of weird that they don't have statues.
No, man. How could you not have George? And I don't mean to cut you off. I honestly believe my brother's statue should be up there. I believe there's no doubt a David Robinson statue should be up there. And Tim Duncan. And you can even put Manu. And I have to say this quickly. JC, I'm not from San Antonio. I'm a Detroiter. But I don't think there's been any team that ever played that had guys as classy as the Spurs superstars with George, who's still loved and adored in the community, David Robinson, Tim Duncan. I mean, Manu Ginobili. Come on, man. Spurs, what are we doing here? Get those statues up and leave them up for eternity.
It makes sense. I mean, you got Jordan in Chicago. The Lakers they have statues there. I mean, you've got a lot of the bigger teams, a lot of the more successful teams that are already doing that. And you would think that San Antonio, now, I guess we can't really jump the gun here because the Spurs are going to start moving downtown. They're going to start building an arena downtown. So we may get statues of George and David and Tim maybe downtown when they build that arena and the Spurs go downtown. So that is a possibility.
I hope so.
But I mean, you're right. There's got to be a bigger tribute than just a retired jersey, in my opinion. I mean, the one thing you mentioned a second ago was the class of the players. And I'm not even going to say players. I'm going to use this word, the class of the legends that have played for the San Antonio Spurs. You don't get that in other teams. I mean, throw the guys out there. There's a ton of them. I mean, you talk about Jordan. Jordan is the GOAT of the NBA, but there was some controversy with that in the background. You know, the gambling, you know, this and that. You know, you've got, you know what? I mean, Magic obviously was class and everything, but there's still a backstory with Magic. You know, one guy that comes up, the name is Bird. And Bird, you know, there wasn't really much that I remember on the backside of Bird, you know, just other than trash talking. But when you look at the Spurs, you've got George, David, Tim. I mean, the class there alone just proves that San Antonio has been a class organization from day one to its current roster right now.
And Rudy, look at Victor. Look how Victor behaves.
Exactly.
Have you seen a more mature 18, 19-year-old coming into the league, man? When I listen to some of his interviews, You talk about highly impressed. The guy is sincere, you can tell, and he's already revered in the city of San Antonio, and it's not just because of his play. When you listen to him talk, man, the guy is just a superhuman being, and I'm so happy that he's right here in San Antonio. He fits right in.
Yeah, exactly, man. It goes because the legends of the game that have resided in San Antonio, I mean, come on, man. It's been class from day one, man.
Sorry.
No, you're good. JC's back in here, man. And again, this is an Ask Me Anything show. Ask Me and Derek Anything. This is a show for the people, by the people. Today's Thirsty Thursday. We got stuff to get into, but we want to give it back to you guys. We love talking to you guys out there as well. Thank you for sharing what a wonderful brotherly experience. Who is the better family cook? So if we have a Gervin party with Sweep the League, who's cooking the food, Derek?
Now, wait, I have this lady. I'm right here, and she's not on the camera, but we were just talking about our cooking skills, right? So I gave her an A. I said she's an excellent cook, and I gave myself an A+, of course. But I got to be honest, man. I would have to get a nod to my brother. George could cook that fish. You know, he's a tilapia guy and the steaks and all of that. And I don't think I'm a bad cook, but I'm going to give my brother, in all seriousness, I'm going to give George a slight edge for sure.
There you go, man. George, I don't eat a lot of fish. I'm sad to say I don't eat a lot of fish. I guess it's just something I don't eat. I think I maybe had tilapia one time in my life, and I guess I got to try George's one day. If it makes it that good, I got to try George's, but one day making that tilapia, because I don't know exactly how good it's supposed to taste, man.
You know how good a feeling that is, Rudy? At one time, we had a condominium, right? So the two of us were using it. He still had his home with his family, but I had a condominium that I was going to when I was at UTSA.
Yeah.
And so he would come over. So I basically was living there, and he would come over, right? And at that time, we used to buy these boxes of steaks. They used to sell boxes. These trucks used to drive around and sell the steaks out of the trucks. And they also sold fish. So George used to come over, man, and I might have been getting ready to leave the condo and head out in the streets or whatever. But when he come in and say he was ready to cook, man, I sat down like a little boy, and I just sat there at the table in the kitchen and waited on my meal. And the first time I tasted it, I had to give him the thumbs up, man. I'm being honest. I said, the guy can cook, man. I never had a clue all these years, me and my brother, that he could cook like that. But the guy has some skills.
So not only can he finger roll, he can basically cook any type of meal. All right. Well, George is this is the reason why Lay has put out. They're saying statues will be put up at the Wemby Center. Probably so. They'll probably name it after Wemby here. But Chris Leja's in here. Shout out to MCS General Contracting, again, sponsor of this segment, a sponsor of Sweep the League. And he makes a foundation statement because why? Because MCS General Contracting is known for the foundations. Of course, starting a family, building that first home. You got to get the foundation right. And Leja's in here. He says, Iceman has to be the first statue, then David, then Timmy. Iceman is the foundation of the Spurs history. I have zero argument on that. Wow. I will say that I agree, not 100%, but 1,000% with that statement, because George laid the foundation for what the Spurs are today. Easily.
Thank you, Christopher. Man, that touches my heart. I mean that. I hope some people start studying the history of the Spurs. Rudy, there were only 4 teams taken to come to the NBA from the ABA. The Indiana Pacers, the New York Nets at that time, the Denver Nuggets, and the San Antonio Spurs. And the reason the Spurs were chosen is because they had a marquee player who was coming into his own by the name of George Gervin. Mm-hmm. And they went through this whole big old thing to get George from the Virginia Squires. He comes to San Antonio. He gives up his small forward position. They move him to the shooting guard, and the rest is history. But Christopher, I got to really sincerely thank you for that, man. That's big time. Appreciate it.
Appreciate the comment, Chris and we both agree Georgia should be the first statue if the Spurs decide to put up a statue. I mean, that's the foundation. He laid it for everybody. George, it was one of the best. I mean, he's top 4 Spur. There's no doubt about it. You've got him on the Mount Rushmore. There is no doubt about that. Don't forget to smash that thumbs up.
Rudy, can I tell Christopher something, though? Something good has already happened, though, because several months ago, they built a gym in Michigan, at Eastern Michigan University, where George played, in Ypsilanti, Michigan. And the place is now called the Game Above Center. It's the George Gervin Game Above Center. And several months ago, they put up a statue outside. So for me, man, that's a great thing. I'm hoping it happens here in San Antonio, but he's already been honored in Ypsilanti, Michigan. So I have to give him some props. And, I believe in the Spurs. If it's meant to happen, it will happen.
Yeah, I think so. And again, I think they're maybe waiting until they get downtown more settled in, get that arena built. And then we're probably going to see a couple of statues there because that'll probably be the forever home of the San Antonio Spurs. So don't forget to smash that thumbs up. Yeah, smash the thumbs up. Like the video, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're giving away College Football 25, a copy on July 19th. We're going to be giving a copy away. We're up to 135 subscribers. If we get to 200, everybody that's a subscriber will get 2 entries to try to win that copy of College Football 25 given to you here by Sweep the League. Again, shout out to our sponsors, MCS General Contracting, Special Leaf Tea, and La Cocina Taco Truck. The comments are coming in, Derek. They got another one for you. Switch station, second question, Mr. Derek Gervin. Did you ever go against one Lloyd Sweepy Daniels? And he's a name that has been mentioned on the show before, but did you ever get to match up against the legend that is Sweet Pea?
Never played against this guy called Lloyd Sweet Pea Daniels, but I can tell you this. I got to play with him in Fort Wayne in the CBA. Lloyd is a friend of mine, and I'm the kind of guy, Lloyd is a guy that kind of keeps to himself. Mm-hmm. But he used to, I'll be honest, he liked that party life, I'll say. Sometimes you might want to go have a drink. So I'm the guy that didn't like to do it a lot, but he would call me and we would go. It would be Lloyd, myself, and the other gentleman, I won't even say his name, but I'll say his name. Sam Worthen is a former Marquette legend. And the three of us would go out and I would shoot pool with Sam and Lloyd would be there. So in between me taking my shots, my pool shots, I go over there and sit down and talk to Lloyd. And a lot of people don't know how great a player Lloyd really was. I played with him on 2 different occasions in the United States Basketball League and the CBA. And you're talking about, in my mind, a great player. He had some challenges in his life, but we all have something. And he's still doing well today. But, yeah, he's a friend of mine. Never played against him. But, yes, I did get to play with him. And I was so happy to see him become a San Antonio Spur.
Man, I remember when the Spurs announced his signing, because that was under John Lucas, if I'm not mistaken. He was the head coach. And, I remember thinking, wow, we're talking Lloyd Daniels. You're talking a playground legend.
Rudy, he could play, man. he could everything that what saddens me, and people didn't get to see what he really could do. He could rebound. Yeah. He could handle the ball, so you could play him at the point guard. He fits perfectly in today's game. He was a knockdown shooter from all 3 levels. It was nothing. I didn't really see it. His one weakness may have been sometimes he got a little lax defensively. But offensively, the stuff that you see Caitlin Clark do right now, I mean it. He wasn't as fast as Caitlin Clark, but the same things you're seeing her do now offensively, Lloyd Daniels had the same package, and that's why he's a New York legend.
Yeah, Lloyd Daniels, like I said, the moment that he was signed, I said, holy cow, this is going to be good. And I just never knew if he was able to get that opportunity in the NBA like he deserved. And, at least he got the opportunity to play. We never were able to see guys like Earl Manigault was one of them get to that there's a ton of guys there that you can go through.
Pee-wee Kirkland.
Pee-wee Kirkland's
so many out there, yes.
That we never got an opportunity to see play at the top of the level. Hell, even one guy who had the opportunity that I was going to bring up. There's 2 guys that had the opportunity, but because life had a different, agenda for them, both Len Bias and Hank Gathers were 2 guys that I was dying to watch at the NBA level that we never got the opportunity to watch the NBA level. Mario Cavazos, I appreciate the question. Keep them in. This is for you guys. This is a show for you guys tonight. We're kind of chill. We're kind of kicked back. We talk sports all week. We want to continue to talk sports, but we want to hear from you guys out there. We want to talk. So JC's saying, right, Leha. He's also saying we used to have fish fries freshly caught by us 100 plus feet down in Panama. Bass. Nice, man. Nice.
That's a lot of fish, Rudy.
Oh, tell me about it. Mario Cavazos, tilapia is a bottom feeder, no nutritional value. Try mahi-mahi or wild salad. I've heard of mahi-mahi. I have not tried it. Again, I'm not a fish person, so I haven't tried it. Leha's in here, man. Appreciate sharing all these great stories with us. Thank you. Anytime, Leha. And you got more questions, you got more comments, or bring them on in. We want to talk about it. This is kind of like a throwback Thursday as well. So if you guys want to talk something here, I never saw George Irvin play, but from highlights I saw, reminds me of a more stylish Kevin Durant. Before we ask that right there, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We got another question from JC as well. But when we come back, the comparisons of George and Kevin Durant, because a lot of people, even a commercial that was released has Durant similar to George. How comparable are these two guys? We're going to break that down for you here on the second half of Sweep the League, brought to you by MCS General Contracting, Special Leaf Tea, La Cocina Taco Truck. We'll be back. Derek and Rudy Campos Jr. Are you looking for a contracting company that gets the job done right the first time? Look no further than MCS General Contracting. MCS specializes in top quality concrete work, including patios, driveways, foundations, and swimming pools. The team of experts are dedicated to delivering exceptional results and unparalleled customer satisfaction. At MCS General Contracting, they're not just hardworking, they're local. Based in San Antonio, they are committed to building relationships and trust within the community. That's why MCS guarantees your satisfaction. They pride themselves on getting the job done right the first time, every time. So why wait? Contract MCS General Contracting today to schedule your project and experience the difference for yourself. MCS General Contracting. Building a better San Antonio, one project at a time. Proud sponsors of Sweep the League. Hey guys, are you ready for a flavor explosion? Look no further than La Cocina Taco Truck, serving up the best street tacos and quesadillas in New Braunfels. With a 5-star rating and rave reviews, they're not just a taco truck. They are a taste sensation. La Cocina staff is the best in town and pride themselves on making every customer feel like family. Whether you're feeding a crowd or just satisfying your own cravings, they've got you covered because no order is too big or too small for them there. Louis and his staff are all about customer satisfaction and they love their community. Don't worry, San Antonio friends. They're just a short trip away to New Braunfels. So why wait? Come visit La Cocina Taco Truck today and taste the difference for yourself. That's La Cocina Taco Truck, where every bite is a fiesta. Proud sponsors of Sweep the League. Can you imagine a world where nature meets wellness? Where every sip you take nourishes your body and soul? Introducing Special Leaf Tea, a line of 100% natural, ready-to-drink iced teas crafted to boost your immunity and energy. With 4 unique flavors to choose from, as in hibiscus blueberry, tangerine ginger, pomegranate blueberry, or the original, you can indulge in the perfect blend of taste and nutrition. Their teas are carefully crafted with 2 times the antioxidants and no added sugar. They're known to help with blood pressure, hypertension, type 2 diabetes, cholesterol, weight management, and even provide natural energy without caffeine. Join the movement towards natural wellness. Order now at www.specialleaf.com and start sipping your way to a healthier, happier you. Special Leaf Tea. Nature in every sip. Proud sponsors of Sweep the League.
Wendy, the king is crowned. Wendy, the king is crowned. checkers, no contest. Wemby's got the game on lock, and he's making it statement. I'm talking about Wemby, the next in line, future of the league, and he's shining fine. DG.
It is Sweep the League.
That song, man.
You know, it's funny, that song. You were in I think you were in the group chat that we've got, but that Wemby song, yeah, let me get the stats for you guys. It's close to 51,000 when it came to TikTok plays, but also according to our producer, when we released it, the Wemby song has been played in 2 clubs in California, 1 in New York, 1 in Detroit, and has reached 262 DJs around the world. That's the Wemby song that we've just released. We just released another one, Can't Stop Us, and that one is in music rotation on radio stations in California right now, and 220 DJs have played it so far and are using it. So Sweep the League music.
What's that young man's name that was in the studio with us? Woo.
Yeah, that's
on the radio. I gotta get Shemaiah Reed. I gotta give a shout out to Shemaiah.
SOTB, Shemaiah Reed. Shout out to Shemaiah because it's his birthday today. So happy birthday, Shemaiah, as well, man. But yeah, STL music, Sweep the League music combined with SOTB. It's an evolve, man. We evolved into that here at Sweep the League. And you know what? The good thing about it, Derek, is not only do we go along for the ride, MCS General Contracting, Special Leaf Tea, La Cocina Taco Truck, all of the sponsors, all the partners that we have are getting the same recognition, the same reach that we're getting from the music scene as well. So when they're getting played in California, they're searching Sweep the League. Well, when they search Sweep the League, California's seeing the Special Leaf stuff. They're seeing the MCS stuff. I mean, the reach is going to be even bigger once we start getting on all these other networks like Sports Insanity. We're up in New York up there as well. So, yeah, I mean, the Wemby song is taking off, and we're hoping that it just keeps going. It's available where music is, Apple Music, iTunes, and Spotify and everything, man. So,
hey, Rudy, did you watch the movie Norbit with Eddie Murphy?
No, that was one I've never really.
Okay, so in the movie, at one point in the movie, he saw a lady that he had never seen a nude lady before, right? So when he saw her, I won't do it like him because I don't want everybody laughing, but he told the girl, "You're going to be a star. You're going to be a star." And that reminds me of Shemaiah. So we told Shemaiah he's going to blow up. And Mr. Reed, you should be proud. Yeah, the young man, his future is very, very bright. And I'm proud to have met him. I'm proud that he's a Detroiter. And I just think his future is unlimited.
It is, man. It is. Shemaiah just does a tremendous job, and we love that he helps us out here as well. So shout out to Shemaiah Reed. Happy birthday, man, from all of us here at Sweep the League. So getting back to the comments, we got a lot of comments to get back to. But again, this is AMA, guys. You want to ask us anything, it's Thirsty Thursday. It's your show tonight. You guys make it go tonight. We want to hang out with you guys. We had a big enough couch. We'd invite all y'all into the studios with us, and that way y'all can kind of hang out with us. But the comparisons, because I guess, guys that never got to see George play, I saw, the tail end of George's career. But I mean, me, I do a lot of my research on videos and stuff, and I go by what a lot of people talk to me about, and I hear a lot of stories. So seeing George, for guys these days, I never saw him play, the comparisons of Kevin Durant, how close are those comparisons? Because, I mean, both Durant and George are scorers, no doubt about it. But I think it's more of Durant basically follows George's playing style.
If you look at Durant, the difference between them and Mario, you're right on point. George had more shots, I'll say. The right-hand hooks and the left-hand hooks and that kind of stuff. But if you watch both of them, they were very fundamentally sound. And if you look at KD, he's the jab step. He just knows how to play the game. He's never in a hurry. And it's funny because, when you hear these comparisons, a lot of times those two players might not ever talk, communicate with each other. But in this case, it's just the opposite. George is the kind of guy who's always tried to promote these younger guys and to see them succeed. So he used to talk to Kevin Durant. And if you guys really look at KD's career, early in his career, I'll say the first 7, 8 years, KD was more of a long-range shooter, or he gets to the basket. And, a lot of times on the fast break, Rudy, he drove to the basket.
Yeah.
But now, if you notice, he shoots more mid-range shots. He gets to that free throw area. Yeah. And my brother used to talk to him about it for 3 or 4 years, and I'm not exaggerating. And he used to always say, damn, Derek, if I could just get the young fella to shoot more mid-range shots, his game is just going to take off. And KD listened. And if you ask KD, if you interview him, he'll tell you the same thing. And so for me, it's always exciting when I get to live through Kevin Durant, basically, since my brother's no longer playing. And every time KD knocks down a shot, I say, ooh, he listened to George. But some of the things are just Kevin natural. He's 6'11", man. And if you looked at the picture of him and Anthony Davis, did you see how he towered over Anthony Davis?
I saw how he towered over him and Bam Adebayo.
So, but here's the biggest thing, Rudy. If you really pay attention to these offensive players, there's not a whole lot of guys. I call it freeze the defense. When you're the only one up in the air shooting the ball and the guys that's guarding you are still on the floor looking up.
Yeah.
You freeze the defense, and that's what George and KD do. To me, that's where they're the most similar, is they can shoot the jumper, but a lot of their shots are uncontested. They know how to get you in a position where before you can react, they're getting their shot off.
Yeah, and that's, like we said, the comparison. I know, like, they had that commercial where KD and George were comparable in that commercial that we saw. I believe it was a Nike one. It's a very, very 100% accurate comparison between George and Kevin Durant. I mean, both scorers, both get to their spots. And it's crazy. I didn't know that George gave KD that advice about going to the mid-range. That is cool. If we ever get a chance to talk to KD, that would be an awesome thing.
Did you see KD with George's jersey on, with the San Antonio Spurs jersey?
I did. You
saw that?
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah,
that was kind of crazy.
Tribute, man.
JC's wondering, has he and George talked about a statue? Him on the ice throne would be cool. If there's a statue, Derek, it has to be the ice throne statue. Yeah, there's really no. It's either that or the finger roll. But because in Eastern Michigan, that statue I think is him doing the finger roll. You kind of got to give him the throne.
I prefer the one on the throne because that's, to me, that's one that hasn't been duplicated yet. And if you look at all these posters and stuff, there have been some great ones. Moses Malone has a great one.
Yeah.
But none, all those guys had they're doing it actually basketball. How cool is it, man, for you to be able to sit on a real block of ice and cross your legs and have a basketball on each side? To me, that is just my family's so proud. When we first saw that, man, I probably did my first cartwheel ever when I saw that. So, yeah, I think that would be a great one, JC.
It's funny because you mentioned how the throne, no one's ever done that on a poster. I had a poster as a kid, and it was the Spurs, and it was the Young Guns poster. And I think it was David Robinson, Willie Anderson, Sean Elliott, and I want to say Rod Strickland. They were in cowboy outfits.
Yeah.
And they were posing. I had that one. That shows you how old I am. Jeez, man.
You're not that old, man.
Makes me feel terribly old. But that was
they say you're as old as you feel. You feel younger than a lot of 25-year-olds out here.
Man, when we done with the show and we end the show, it takes me 20 minutes to just get off the chair. It takes me a while to get up because my bones are cracking and everything. I'm an old man.
But
man.
You're still getting up, though.
That poster would be good. I think the throne definitely has the way to go. We got some comments here. Chris, the MCS logo, what was come up with? Yeah, the MCS logo is definitely really cool. And shout out to Bear County Social Apparel. He does some great work, releases a lot of, merchandise, T-shirts and some shorts. You ever need to get something, especially San Antonio related, contact Bear County Social Apparel. Does a fantastic job. Derek, first time that JC, who's a part of Special Leaf, his first time he's hearing and seeing the ad, and he loves it, man. Apparently a lot of people are finally seeing the Special Leaf ad that we produce. You need that Special Leaf as if I drink it, and it's helped me a lot with my health. Blood pressure. It does really good work with blood pressure, man. Eric Jacobs needing that Special Leaf. Special Evad was fire. And then Marta's saying you were talking about Rasputia from Norbit. Is that who you were talking about?
Yes. Well, no, it was actually a Caucasian lady. She was nude. He wouldn't have been saying you're going to be a star to Rasputia. No. No. It was a younger lady. And he looked at her, man, he just started blushing. And at that time, I was like, yeah. She's going to be a star. But yeah, that's Shemaya. Yeah, Shemaya's also going to be a star.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch it. I haven't seen Norbit, so I'm gonna have to watch that show now.
Rudy, Mario, and we got all these guys, and Christopher, and JC, and Tim Gonzalez, all you guys, man. I'm thanking you from the bottom of my heart. The only thing we're missing as we continue to grow. We need to get more. We need to get some ladies on this show.
Already done. We have the comments.
No, I'm not talking about as guests. I'm talking about start chiming in. Calling in, asking questions. Guys, help us out. Let's grow together. Let's start getting some women on here so we can also, because I'll tell everybody now, I sent a text earlier today to try to get Ariana Robertson on here.
There you go.
For those of you that know, Ariana was first team McDonald's All-American this past year, played at Clark High School, and I made a call to her dad, a text, to see if we can get her on the show. So hopefully, Rudy, at the end of the month, because they have these games, the Hungary games coming up.
Yeah.
Let me look to tell you so I make sure so everybody will know. They have she'll be back for the USA training at the end of the month, and then it's off to Hungary for the World Cup. So we're going to see if we could possibly make it happen at the end of the month, and we can bring on Ariana Robertson. I think that'll be a fantastic way to continue to grow the show.
That would be, because we've got Megan Price coming in next week for WNBA talk. Apparently, with Ariana Robinson, she's got a great opportunity to make the WNBA. She's on her way to Duke for next year to play basketball for the Duke Blue Devils. And I mean, I'm not going to say it's a guarantee she makes WNBA, but I'm pretty damn confident that she's going to make the WNBA. I mean, great talent out of San Antonio.
Rudy, as a young lady, and I'm not exaggerating because I know her, spectacular human being. So I got to give John and his wife, I got to give both of them some credit, man. They got really good kids. And, of course, Andre used to play for Oklahoma City Thunder. Yeah. But as people, man, from top to bottom, a really, really good family.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good family. She's a really hell of a good player as well. Can't wait to watch her grow into her future. And like I said, WNBA's got to be right around the corner for Ariana Robertson. They're talking about George Gervin of the statue and finger roll, and they're rioting in San Antonio. They got to have the finger roll, man. But I don't know. You gotta have the throne. The throne is like
why not the jump or the jump shot? You guys need to look at that jump shot. That jump shot was sweet.
Or the jumper. That would be, I mean, if we go throne, finger roll, jumper. I guess that would be the way we would. I don't know how you would
rate me, it'd probably be the jumper first. I love this statue, but if I had my pick for out of the three, for all the years I've been around that guy, it would probably for me be the jump shot. Because if you guys listen to Isaiah Thomas, you know how they get in that room and they all talk. Steve Kerr, it's a lot of different players.
Yeah.
They talk about George shooting the ball off, the finger rolls and all that over the backboard and all that. But they talk about the jump shot, too, from anywhere on the backboard. And that's what I like the most. That I took a lot of them in my face. But for me, that's probably why I say the jumper, because I looked at so many of them and I could do nothing about it.
Yeah, and one thing about George that he's doing now, he's coaching in the Big Three, and the Big Three's coming in August 4th to San Antonio. So we're gonna try to cover the Big Three for you guys. I actually put in our information, so hopefully we get a call back to cover them. But you'll be able to see George. I believe he's going to be coaching the team here when they come to the Big Three for the Big Three event here in San Antonio here coming up here on August 4th. So. Yeah, I mean, the people want the finger roll statue, but we'll see which one we get. We're going to get one. Eric, Jake, they're on it. They're going to start spreading the word for us here, Derek, so we can get – because we know for a fact a lot of females out there, they love sports. We can talk sports with everybody, and we want to talk sports with everybody. So we're basically here to talk sports with anybody, everybody we love. And we're like to mention, we've got Megan Price next week. We've got Jill Jelnick. She was actually in San Antonio. She worked with one of the local sports affiliates here in San Antonio. She's living in Tennessee right now. She covers all Tennessee sports. We're going to get her for some Tennessee Titans talk. She's going to call into the show. I believe it's during their training camp here in a couple of weeks. So.
Are you going to ask her what it looks like this year? Because they got a rebound from that 6-11 season.
Yeah, and what's funny is I want to say 2 or 3 weeks ago, talking to Pledger from Sports Star, I had mentioned to him, I said, I think the Titans are a team to really watch. They had a whole lot of additions. Their draft was hella good, in my opinion. They added Jamal Adams, I think, today. So they're doing a lot of good things in Tennessee. I got them as one of my surprise teams, but we're going to leave all that for Jill Jelnick when she's on the show in a couple of weeks. And we still got a whole lot more. I got emails too about people that are potentially coming on as well towards the end of the year. Actually, I've got another PGC basketball commissioner, I believe, is going to be on the docket as well with us here at Sweep the League. So we got a bunch of people coming on as well. We welcome all takes from anyone. Just know I cook equally. Leha does cook equally. Male, female, it doesn't matter. Chris is going to tell you like it is, and whether you like it or not, he doesn't care. Yeah, part of the USOA. That's why. I mean, the shout out the USOA. You know, that's the mono right there, the attitude right there. So Tim Gonzalez made it in. What's up, man?
Shout out to all these men out here who cook, man. Let these ladies know, hey, we're versatile. We can do more than one thing. We can play sports, but we can get in that kitchen as well.
Well, yeah, and, you know, Leha can cook, but, I mean, he can also cook letting people know exactly feelings as well. And, you know, the feeling part is, hey, it is what it is, man. Tim Gonzalez is in here. Don't worry about coming late, man. Hey, as long as you show up, whether it's late or not, doesn't matter, man. Derek, we just mentioned, Tim, Derek just mentioned that he had a conversation. We're probably going to try to get Ariana Robertson here at the end of the month. From what Derek was telling me, she's doing obviously some training now for, you know, Team USA. She's getting ready for the basketball season, but contact has been made. So we're hoping to get her on here but about the end of the month, if not probably sooner, you know, a little later than that. So if you want to tell Derek again, you know, you can confirm that. But yeah, we just mentioned that a little while ago about Ariana.
I got you, Tim. You wrote that yesterday, and I got on it, my man. And I talked to Ariana's dad, John, today. So we trying to make that happen. But you got to remember, she's got a lot going on with the Team USA. And then so she will be home at the end of the month. And hopefully her schedule will, you know, work with ours, and we can make it happen. And then from there, she's off to the Hungary Games. But I've been known to pull this kind of stuff off, and I'm going to try again.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we have no doubt about it. I have a good feeling we'll end up talking to Ariana here pretty soon. Before we go to commercial break, our last commercial break of the night, Wes is in here. Hey, guys, saw you to the party tonight. Are Spurs done with free agency outside of being supposed to be Mamu, Seti, or Barlow back? You know, to be honest, the free agency part, I think they're done with free agency outside of maybe, like you said, a couple of guys that were on the team last year. I don't know if they're done making trades, though. That is still kind of up in the air. I'm going to say right now, I am about 75% confident that the team we see now is the team we're going to go in with at the regular season. I don't really see very many more moves. Do you maybe see something, Derek, that I may not be seeing? Because I'm fairly confident we're going to see this exact same team go.
What's Osman's status right now, Seti? What is this? I
want to say he's an unrestricted free agent still.
Because I like him, and I told you I liked him. I liked him when he was in Cleveland, and I think you need guys like him. And then he's younger. You know, I like Doug McDermott, but he's gotten up there in age, I'll say. But a guy like Seti Osman, you always keep guys like that for emergencies. And he's proven that he's an NBA player. So I just don't like to give up on guys too soon. And guys like that, they fit the puzzle, man. So if we can retain Seti Osman, I'll be a happy guy for that, really.
And he's currently
like Mamu too.
Mamu's as well. I mean, currently these guys are still free agents. They're still unrestricted. The Spurs have a chance to sign them. I don't think Seti or even Mamu is getting a whole lot of talk when it comes to free agency. So I kind of expect maybe one or both of them back. Barlow, on the other hand, is kind of a head scratcher. I love what he did in San Antonio, but again, kind of how we mentioned at the beginning of the show with Harrison Ingram, Harrison Ingram kind of takes over that Barlow role. I mean, he's going to be in Austin.
Up and down. A two-way. What they call them today when the guys go to the G League. And
like two-way. Two-way contracts.
For me, that's where Barlow is right now. Not saying he can't get better, but right now that's where he is in my mind as well.
Yeah, so I think that's why Ingram is probably going to take over that Barlow role. But I could definitely see Mamu and Seti being back, especially if Seti doesn't get a whole lot of love, which is kind of weird. You would think some of these contending teams could use a player like Seti Osman. I mean, the guy gives you some really good scoring and key points of the game. He's a veteran. I mean, it's weird how he's still out there, even if you
put it on the floor.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he could be a difference maker come playoff time for some of these playoff teams. You're not asking for a whole lot from him. I mean,
it's sad, Rudy. You see some guys that you and all of that money is a lot of money if you're making $1 million. Yeah. But you see some of these guys, they just stay down where the $2 million, $3 million range, and that's where they are basically their whole career. And it kind of saddens me because some of these guys, man, if they just get the opportunity to enhance their livelihood, I'll say, they just don't get the chance, man. So sometimes, the NBA, it's a numbers game. And you just got to hope that it pans out for you, but you just continue to work, and we just continue to support those guys and wish them the best.
100%, man. Leha's in here. Gents, appreciate y'all for having a great show. My young old self has called a night and get ready for work tomorrow. Y'all be blessed. Always appreciate you, Leha, for coming in, man.
Leha.
Big time supporter, MCS General Contracting. Shout out to those guys. They're big supporters of Sweep the League, big sponsors of Sweep the League as well. Tim says so he can spread his Duke fan base. Yeah, let the Duke fan base know. We'll give everybody a heads up if we've got Ariana coming on.
Ariana and then Cooper.
He's talking about Mamu. Will Keldon be back? What odds are we giving him? I just said 75% that this same team comes in. I don't see Keldon being moved right now. I think it's going to be the same team that we have right now with Harrison Barnes and Chris Paul. It's pretty much going to be the same team coming.
75%, Rudy. I would say the only way Keldon will be moved, I believe at this time, if it was for Lauri Markkanen. And the more I think about it, man, I think Danny Ainge has some reservations about actually getting rid of Lauri. And for me, that would be the only way Keldon moves. And really, if you look at it, what Keldon just 2 years ago averaged 20 points a game.
Yeah.
So if he stays here, I'm happy because I've met him, talked to him and his brother, and I think he's a great guy. He's also a very good guy that represents the city of San Antonio and the San Antonio Spurs very well.
Yeah, he is. And, you're talking about a guy, too, coming off of a medal with Team USA as well. So, I mean, he's got obviously some talent behind him. He's got a lot of, experience as well. But you're right. With Danny looking at, if the Spurs are only willing to give up Keldon Johnson for Lauri Markkanen, it would probably take 5 first-rounders probably to get a Lauri Markkanen, which, honestly, I think I would pay it. But I would kind of be hesitant as well. I mean, I don't know. It's 5 first-rounders without a guarantee.
Hey, Rudy, you saw Keldon. Did you notice how he improved on his three-point shot? He puts a lot more arc on it now.
Yeah.
And his shot got better. So when guys at that age, reaching, he's got paid now. So when you continue to work hard, guys like that, I don't like giving up. I think Keldon, he kind of reminds me of the body of an Adrian Dantley.
Yeah.
But he could shoot the ball outside. He could put the ball on the floor. I like Keldon, and I like him and Devin Vassell together. I think it could work. I just think that they need to give him an opportunity. He didn't really whine about coming off the bench. Mm-hmm. He accepted that. I know he probably didn't like it, but he didn't make any waves about it. And so that's a team guy. And as we keep building, you cannot build a foundation if every time something happens, you get rid of a guy, you don't give them an opportunity to gel as a team. And that's why I want to see him stay here so we can build something like we did with those teams that won the 5 championships.
Yeah, exactly. I like Keldon. I know when we're talking trades, he's probably the one guy that's going to come up every single time in trade talks. But, I mean, it's never a knock to him. It's the fact that I mean, he's a hell of a player. I know that he could help another team if need be. The numbers work for a lot of teams as well. But, I mean, there's no disrespect to Keldon Johnson at all. I mean, he has improved. Spurs have the mid-level exception to spend. Could see a trade and the mid-level applying. That's why I say 75%. I leave that 25% open because of a trade. I think the Trae Young trade is dead. It's been dead for a while. The Laurie is kind of still kicking tires on it, but I don't see it going anywhere. The last person to come up is Brandon Ingram, but coming up that Brandon wants $208 million extension. That's something where I'm as a GM, I'm like, I don't think so.
That's
right
5
now.
years. If he wants $208 million, that's 5 years.
Yeah, I don't know if I can really give up that kind of cash.
41.6 million. I don't know. I don't know if he worth 41 million right now. And I'm a Brandon Ingram fan now. We're talking about Duke Blue Devils. I like Brandon, but he just hasn't been able to get over the hump. Rudy, every time you start thinking he's an all-star player, and then he gets hurt, and then it takes him time to come back. His situation is not much different than Zion's. You have them not much difference than Paul George and Kawhi. Every time you think they're headed in the right direction, they have a setback. And that's what's happening to Brandon Ingram. I think he's a really good scorer, a 20-point scorer.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he even moves the needle here, because I don't know if there'll be enough shots for him as we try to get into this Victor Wembanyama era.
And that's the key, because if you didn't add a Harrison Barnes, then I would say, okay, Brandon Ingram may make a little more sense. But then you hear the $208 million. I'm like, no. That ain't, again, I'm not even talking as a Spurs media guy, as a Spurs fan or anything. I'm talking about just an NBA guy in general. There's a good amount of GMs out there that are looking at $208 million for Brandon Ingram. No, we can't.
That's more than Donovan Mitchell and probably and Brunson are going to sign for.
Exactly. I mean, you haven't got $208 million production out of Brandon Ingram. So for him to be saying what he wants, he's going to stay with New Orleans. There's no way that they're going to be able to move him. I can't see anybody picking. I thought maybe Portland would have been a good fit for him, but not even Portland is going to be one.
As you know, sometimes guys, I'll say flatline. They don't go any further. If you have Brandon Ingram got much better than when he was with the Lakers?
No.
He's gotten more opportunity, but has he really gotten better than when he was playing with the Lakers? Because I remember with the Lakers, he was averaging about 16.7, something like that, 17 points a game. And now you look at him, 21, 22 points a game? He's not that guy that moves the needle. I don't have him even on the level of Paul George. I think Paul George is a better player. Brandon Ingram's a good scorer, but he's not the rebounder that he should be. He's not the defender that he should be. He's basically a really good role player. And you don't pay really good role players today $41 million. I think after Tobias Harris getting that $38, $39 million, teams are being a little more careful now as far as how they dishing out their dollars.
Well, we know the cap space went up in the NBA. So, I mean, you've got to spend X number of dollars or you get penalized at the end. So I get it. But, I mean, he wants to be paid like he's a bona fide all-star, and you can't pay him like that. There's no way, especially if you're asking San Antonio, if you're asking, for right now, like a Philadelphia, a lot of these teams that have cap space, they don't want to use it because they've got 2025, 2026 coming up. At the summer of 2025 is when you got a ton of talent coming up for free agents. So they're very skeptical to use it now. Maybe next year you may get a Brandon Ingram and say, okay, that's kind of what we're going to have to settle for. Let's talk maybe 40, 39 million a year, see if that'll work. But no, you're not going to be able to move him with what he's asking.
Look at the JC.
Yeah, what's the rule on jersey numbers like CP3 and KJ? Now, again, you being in the league, how does that work?
Look, man, this is how it works. Keldon has been here already. So number 3 right now is Keldon Johnson. This is how it goes down. If Chris wants that number, he's going to have a meeting with no one but Keldon Johnson, right? So they sit down in the locker room. Keldon tell him, well, Chris, I'll give you the jersey if you give me like I don't know, a Rolex or you're going to pay me some money. I'm being sincere. I'm acting silly. I'm laughing, but guys that he might have to pay for that jersey if he really wants to get that number. And it depends on how Keldon looks at Chris Paul. I mean, if he's a guy that look at him like I do, the point guard, I might give up the jersey. But a lot of times guys have to pay for that jersey. That's in football as well. You might have to give up a few dollars.
How much do you think it costs to get a number? How much would you charge? If you had a guy come in and want your number, how much would you charge for that?
Those guys make a lot of money, man. I probably wouldn't even want money, Rudy, to be honest with them. They could take me out to dinner a few times, and I would be good at that because it's only a number, man. Get a chance. Today we're in the era anyway of guys wearing more than one number. We've seen LeBron. We saw Kobe. So, get with the flow. Go do like these guys. If I have to give up number 3 and I get to eat and sit down and learn like a sponge from Chris Paul, and I might give up the jersey, man, because he brings so many good things to the city of San Antonio. And I don't think Keldon cares that much. I can't say that. I take that back. Because I don't know if that jersey number has significance to him, why he chose that jersey number. But if it's nothing that's really major, then you just go ahead and give up the jersey, man. He doesn't have to be number 3. We know who Keldon Johnson is. And you go ahead and let Chris Paul have it.
I agree with that. But I guess what people don't know, and the only reason why I know is because of trading cards from back in the day. But you had 2 different numbers for the Nets.
I started off with 24. 24 was actually George's number in college.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that. And then number 30 I wore because of Bernard King. I was a big Bernard King fan when he was with the Knicks. And I just thought the guy was just a phenomenal offensive player. Undersized, really. They say 6'7", whatever. I think he's more like 6'5" and a half, maybe 6'6". And if you remember, he used to play at Tennessee. I know you're younger than me. And Tennessee was the Bernie and Ernie show. Bernard King and Ernie Grunfeld, who went on to become a general manager and all that in the NBA. But for me, 24 was because of George, college number, and then 30 was because of Bernard King.
See, that's why I'm saying all the trading card people out there, you got to remember when Derek's cards came out, he had 1 in 24 and 1 was 30. And if I remember correctly, man, your Skybox card, I think, was 24.
Reggie Theus ended up wearing. That was really the number that I wanted to give to Rick. That's Reggie Theus' number was 24. I'm a number 30 guy. Plus, I wore that for another reason, Rudy. Everywhere I played, I wanted to be able to let people know I'm getting 30.
There you go, man. See, stories behind everything. Wesley Perkins is saying he's shocked that the Spurs haven't offered Brook Lopez or Kessler. Cost maybe a few first. Who's to say? I mean, they probably did make offers for him, but again, it's up to Milwaukee and Utah to ultimately decide. Mario says, my wife works for a so-called company that examines the Spurs fat to muscle mass ratios. Keldon let her hold his gold medal. Holy cow. So that's pretty cool to hold a gold medal.
He's a really good guy. Rudy, I met him at when I got a little upset. I saw Brad on the news the other day. Remember, I went to the bowl-a-thon.
Yeah.
And that's where I met Keldon. I'm telling you, the guy is spectacular, man. I got to talk to him and Chris Cyborg and but Keldon, I'm talking to Chris. I'm eating with Chris Cyborg, so I know a lot of you out there know who Chris Cyborg is. I have some of her coasters sitting on my table at home right now. And but Keldon is a superb guy, and that might be one reason he hasn't been moved yet, Ricky. I'm calling you Ricky. You know I do so many shows, Rudy. You know I do a show with Ricky. I apologize. But if you really look at it, seriously, that might be one reason he hasn't been moved, because he's a class act as a person.
Yeah, and like we were talking earlier, San Antonio is like the class when it comes to NBA organizations. Not even NBA, it's organizations, period. So it's hard to find guys like Keldon.
Man, Spurs are, man, we're underrated. We're one of the underrated teams for some reason. They don't act like we have 5 championships here.
Oh, I know. I know that for a fact.
The NBA has to do better. I mean, come on, man. We had Tim Duncan, who didn't lose, every year his career, they won at least 50 games. How could stuff like that just be washed under the rug?
It's terrible, because you're talking about a guy, one, if not the only guy to make playoffs in every single season that he's been a part of. I mean, Again, and that's what goes way back in the day when he had Victor here. You saw his play at the Spurs. I remember Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and I talked and it says, can we consider Victor as one of the greatest of all time? I said, I can't, not in the Spurs history, because until Victor goes 20 playoff appearances in a row, like, it's tough to say.
Rudy, we got to stop anointing guys after one season, man. I mean, come on. I love Victor, but Victor's only played 1 year. You have to do it repetitively, year after year after year. And if we hoping that he has a great second year. Yeah. Let's start letting these guys. Let's kind of slow down a little bit and let these guys start earning what they have to. He'll continue to evolve, I believe, his game. But right now, the man has only played 1 year, man. I mean, come on.
And it's just going to get better from here on out. I mean, as you can tell. Yeah, as you can tell. Mario's saying, Keldon be wearing number 48 and starring in a State Farm commercial. I would take the State Farm commercial. There's no doubt about that, man.
Hey, Rudy, can I say something quickly while we're talking about Victor?
Yeah.
I want everybody out here to think. I thanked Joel Embiid earlier today for joining Team USA.
And not France.
Oh, man. If he joined France, you got Rudy Gobert. Yeah. You got Victor Wembanyama, and you got Joel Embiid. That's a nightmare. So I had to thank Joel Embiid earlier for choosing Team USA, man, and because I didn't want to see the three of them play together.
Well, Joel kind of came into that first exhibition against Canada, and he played exactly the way Timmy played, didn't he? Fouled out in like 12
I'm telling you, it's a different game. They call the games differently than they call in the NBA. And a lot of people, I hope they don't jump the gun too soon. To be honest, yesterday, I don't think that Canada showed us even half of what they're really capable of.
No.
I think they didn't. I think they played well. If you look at it, Shea had 10 points.
Yeah.
Yeah. They didn't even score more than Dylan Brooks.
No.
That's not going to happen when the Olympics starts.
It's preseason basically for the Olympics right now. So it's just exhibition games. It's just games to get you ready to go. So yeah, Canada is definitely not going to give the USA all they can in an exhibition game. Give your jersey up. Coffee for a year is the other part. Yeah, coffee for a year if you give up your jersey number. Real quick, we're about to go here. If Jordan wasn't in the league, which player would you build a team around? I mean, for me, it's either Magic or Jabbar. I can maybe throw Tim Duncan in there. Man, I don't know. It depends on what kind of offense you want to run, what kind of team you want to build.
Man,
I mean, that's tough.
I'm building I don't care if Jordan's in there or not. I'm building my team around Irvin, Magic Johnson. Remember, I'm from Michigan, Tim, so I know about Magic playing at Lansing Everett. And George used to play with Magic. When Magic was 15 years old, this is for all of you out there, when Magic was about 15, he was already playing with the pros, similar to Luka. But people don't talk about it. And George saw stardom in this young man, at that time, kid from the beginning with the big afro. So for me, on every level, he's won. Where hasn't he won? So if I'm starting my team, it's definitely with Irvin Magic Johnson, number 32.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like I said, Magic on 1 point for me. I would definitely start with Magic. I don't know if I want to go big, it would be Kareem or Tim. If I want to start around a big man, I mean, hell, I would even throw Hakeem in there to maybe start building around a team as well. But
I'm starting with Bill Russell. We go big man.
Russell's another one. Golly, there's so many. JC wants to know, will we have 10 to 12 championships total before 2040?
5 championships or between 5 and 7 championships in the next 16 years, JC? Woo.
Very possible.
Woo.
I mean, you have a foundation already, a piece in Victor.
Ooh, boy, though. And 5, that's 5 to 7 championships in a 16-year period. How about we have 5 now? How about we take 8 and then go from there?
I was going to say 3. I think maybe 3 would be.
Yeah. The next 16 years, 3 or 4. I can see that.
I would say 3. I'm going to say 3. I don't know if we get 10 to 12.
Well, let's take 3. We pass up Golden State, don't we?
What? Yeah, you pass up Golden State. You pass up Chicago.
Yeah.
That just leaves the Celtics and the Lakers. So
17 and 18. So you're
not catching them. You're not catching them.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, your lifetime, my lifetime. I definitely not seeing that. I mean, hell, I'm not even going to see a Atlanta Falcons Super Bowl in my lifetime. I've seen all the other championship teams.
Hey, now wait. Now I don't know about that.
Oh man, don't give me hope, Derek. Don't give me hope.
I don't know, Rudy. Who did they draft last year as a running back?
Okay, they got Bijan.
Yeah, so you got to start building a core, right?
Which they have. They needed a quarterback. They drafted a great one. They signed a good quarterback to get them at least into the playoffs. Their defense is not bad. It's not bad.
I'll remind you of something. For you a bit, I'm disappointed in you. You remember the Dirty Birds?
I do.
Okay, they had to start somewhere, right? You got Jamal Anderson. You got Bijan Robinson. I mean, to me, that's a great start. And then you just keep building. And then, all of a sudden, man, who thought the Denver Nuggets was really – did you see Denver Nuggets win the championship several years ago?
Well, the year I picked them, yeah, but the year before,
I mean, say go back 4 or 5 years.
No. They were still building towards that.
That's what I'm saying about Atlanta. As long as you're building towards that, I can see it happening.
There's two problems.
You're not that old. You're talking about in your lifetime. Now, you said my lifetime. I can see it happening.
I don't know, man. They've kind of disappointed me so far with the Falcons in 2 Super Bowls, but there's 2 problems that Atlanta has. One of them is that they have a Chick-fil-A at the stadium, and it's never open because they play on Sunday, so it made no sense why they have Chick-fil-A in that stadium.
How many championships, how many Super Bowls did you say?
2. They got 2 Super Bowl appearances.
Now, when you get off of here, I want you to go do your due diligence on the Detroit Lions, my hometown.
Well, that was my second part of the point, is that they have to run into a Detroit Lions team in the NFC. They've got a San Francisco team to deal with in the NFC.
No, what I mean is the history of the Detroit Lions. How many Super Bowls have we been to?
Well, I'm gonna say 0.
Okay, so you've been to 2, sir.
Yeah.
So I can see 3 happening, and then when the third one happens, the third time is a charm. We're still trying to get there the first time.
Well, you've got to be happy. I'm taking the Lions to win the Super Bowl this year.
Really?
They were my Super Bowl pick a few months ago, and I'm sticking to it. They are my Super Bowl pick. They had one of the best off seasons out of any team. So I mean, you were already one of the best teams in the league. You just went out there and you and Houston decided, you know what? We were good already. What does it take to get better? Well, this is what it took to get better. So I believe in the Lions in this year's NFL season. I have them right now winning the Super Bowl, and I'm probably not going to change it. I'm going to stick to Detroit getting their first Super Bowl as the Dirty Birds in Atlanta look up and say, what if? What if? What if? So, yeah, we'll see maybe 3 more championships. Real quick, Don Staley, Lisa Leslie, Sue Bird, who would you start, bench, and cut?
Oh, that's not really a fair question, Tim, because 2 of them are point guards and one of them is a center. So I would have to, I guess if I'm gonna do it like this, Lisa Leslie scored 100 points, over 100 points in high school, and then we know what kind of stellar career. I would start Lisa Leslie. I would bench Sue Bird, and I would cut Don Staley. And I hate to say that, man. Don Staley's a champion as a coach, but that would be my order. Start Lisa Leslie, bench Sue Bird, and cut Don Staley.
That's my choice right there. Last couple of comments here. Always enjoyed, fellas. Great takes. Thank you, Wesley, for joining us here. Appreciate you. More likely to happen. Falcons win Super Bowl. Our Cowboys win Super Bowl in our lifetime. Oh my God. That's a lifetime. You know what? I'm going to say Atlanta wins a Super Bowl in our lifetime. I would have to say that. I think Jerry is too prideful to make the right decisions to give Dallas another Super Bowl opportunity. But I think Atlanta's on the right path. 3rd spot on all-time C list. Ain't bad in my lifetime. Cool. Hashtag healthy aging. Hashtag enjoy the ride. Yeah, so 3rd all-time on the championship list for the NBA. Titles is Spurs. If they can get number 3 or 3 more, it puts them at 8. Yeah, I mean, that puts them 3rd all-time. Could they finally get the recognition that they've always deserved? We'll find out. We'll find out here. One thing for sure is on July 27th, we have Dave Mullins, who was on the show last night. He's got his show Hanging with Dave at the Josephine Theater. That is July 27th. Tickets on sale at Eventbrite. Grab them now. We're planning to be out there. I know I'm planning to be out there as well for Dave Mullins. It's going to be a great night of comedy. He was on last night's show. You guys want to watch it, go to YouTube, search at Sweep the League TV. Catch last night's show with Dave Mullins. It was fantastic. Funny guy. Tomorrow is Fun Friday. Hopefully Derek will be back, as well as Gio will be back tomorrow, hopefully, for Fun Friday. We're going to end the week off on a bang. And then not only that, guys, appreciate again everything that you guys do for us here at Sweep the League, especially MCS General Contracting, Specialty, and La Cocina Taco Truck. Great sponsors of Sweep the League. If any of your companies out there want to be a sponsor, you can always hit me up in the DMs here. We can always talk something out. We've got more sponsors on the horizon as well. A lot of people wanted to join. Why? Because we're spreading the word, not only through sports talk, not only through live talk, but also now through music, as we've launched STL Music as well. So we're basically getting worldwide on every way possible. Last thing we need to do is make movies, Derek. You and I got to make movies.
Hey, Rudy, I might have to. I'm going to try to make it tomorrow. I might get here maybe a little late because my guys play tomorrow. We have a game tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Castle Hills young guys. I'm so excited. We practiced today, and we have a playoff game tomorrow. It's one game knockout. So we were fortunate to win our last game, and then we play tomorrow at 7:30. So I'm gonna try to make it in by 9. If I can make it in, I'll be on the air. And if I come in a little late, I still plan on being on the show. But I might be a little late.
Either way, if you're late, that means good things are happening because you're winning the game. So that's the most important thing right there.
I got some spectacular young men, man.
Where's the game at?
We're playing tomorrow at Somerset Academy. It used to be Brooks Academy, and before that it was Cornerstone on Vance Jackson.
Oh wow!
I believe it's 4802 Vance Jackson.
Yeah.
And so we play there, and if the location changes, Rudy, it's another place that's on Bird Road. I would have to be sure. I'll give you the address. It's off Blanco and Bird Road. But, yeah, my guys are going to go at it tomorrow, man. And so I'm excited about them. Just a bunch of class young men. So shout out to Castle Hills High School.
Yeah, shout out to Castle Hills High School. If you guys want to maybe catch Derek and his team tomorrow, they're playing over off of Vance Jackson. It used to be the old Cornerstone, the old Brooks Academy there. So definitely go check it out tomorrow. They play at 7:30, but we'll be back tomorrow, man. Again, shout out to all our sponsors, MCS General Contracting. Shout out to Specialty at La Cocina Taco Truck. La Cocina is actually open for the weekends after 8 o'clock, so definitely hit them up. So, Derek, until we talk to everybody tomorrow, you have a great night. We're going to see everybody tomorrow. Appreciate you guys for joining us on the show. Again, the Wimby song is released. It's hitting the clubs now. Don't be left behind.
Shemaya, happy birthday, my friend.
Happy birthday, Shemaya. We'll see you guys tomorrow.